Oh, we're going to talk about Bad Boys, but first, cue that new intro. Bad Boys for Life. Who would have thought that we wanted this movie? I didn't think I wanted this movie. Actually, I did deep down inside of me thought that I wanted this movie, but I didn't know I wanted it until they gave it to me, and I'm okay with it. Bad Boys for Life, directed by, hold on just a second, Adil El Arbi. Definitely didn't say it right. Maybe I did. I don't know. Produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, who did the Armageddon movie. He did some of the Pirates movies. He did 12 Strong. Yeah, he's one of the producers. Also produced by Doug Belgrad, who did the new Zombieland and the new Charlie's Angels. And another producer, Will Smith. I think we all know who Will Smith is, right? Maybe. Starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, this is the third chapter of The Bad Boys. Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett are back at it once again, except they're a little bit older. And, I mean, anyone going into this who's a fan of the originals is going to question on whether or not they're going to actually adhere to that. And they do. They actually did a great job of that. So what kind of gets everything in motion is, well, I don't want to spoil it. Pretty much what's happening in this film is Marcus wants to retire. Mike isn't having it, and so he challenges him to a bet. And in the process of that bet, Mike gets shot. Spoilers. One thing leads to another. They go after the guy who shot Mike, and it's a bit of a roller coaster, I guess. And not in the sense that you would think. It's more of an emotional roller coaster. At least it was for me. I don't know if it was a sentimental thing because I am a fan of the originals, love the original too. But this was different. Things I liked about this movie. Well, first off, I've already mentioned it. I didn't know that I needed this in my life. And now that it's here, I'm not mad about it whatsoever. And January is usually a terrible month for films, and this might be the one solid film that comes out this month that I know of. I'm a little bit out of the loop. Secondly, this thing is hilarious. It's got that humor that it did in the other two. I mean, Will and Martin, they have fantastic chemistry on screen, without a doubt. But one of the scenes that I think stole it from me was with Joe Pantoliano. I'm gonna read it because I clearly butchered that. Joe Pantoliano. You get it. Anyways, he plays Captain Howard, and there's a scene where he is talking to Mike, Will Smith's character, and I was in near tears. It's just like he does such a good job of I don't know, like he's so honest, and his delivery it's hilarious. I just thinking about it, I want to see that scene. I can't. It was really funny. I didn't feel like this movie was a rehash. And the callbacks were fresh and they were appropriate. They weren't forced. And coming out with a film like this one so long after the second, you're kind of like, how's it going to be? And this one turned out okay. More than okay, honestly. It's action-packed, without a doubt. It's what you expect. And it's done in a way where they adhere to age. And I thought that was wonderfully handled. And that just comes down to really being grounded in what you're doing. I mean, they used it in their favor, obviously, but if they had just played it like they weren't old, I don't think this movie would have done as well as it did. I liked a lot about this film. I really did. But there were a few things that, you can't be hard on a film like this. You know what you're going into and what you're going to get. But there were moments that pulled me out, and I went, really? I know you're going, Miles, it's Bad Boys. You need to forgive that. But do I? So, spoilers, there is a point where, I mean, I already said it. Will Smith's character gets shot, right? It's like a party, and all of the cops and detectives, captains, all of them, they're there at this thing when he gets shot. And nobody pulls a gun on the dude who shoots him. No one. I get it. We wouldn't have a story if they didn't just do their thing and run over. But come on. There was like, it wasn't just like one round. It wasn't one shot. There were a couple, and no one took action. They just shot your dude. You don't have to hit him. Somebody pull out their gun, take a couple of shots. Yes, it's a startling moment, and you're not expecting it. Now you are, because I've spoiled it. I'm dumb. It pulled me out. It pulled me out. But I will say this. Martin Lawrence, who came out of retirement for this film, grounds us once again. Brings us back to where we need to be in this film. And that falls a little bit on the direction, too. It's like, it just, boom. It's like right into it. Martin Lawrence is having this moment, like coming to God moment. And he's praying, and he's weeping. He's just got tears rolling down his face. And in that moment, I was like, I forgot about the fact that none of his boys and his gals pulled a gun out on this dude. I was like, wow. Martin Lawrence, you killed it, dude. Freaking pulling at my heartstrings. And I didn't think I was going to go into a movie like this and just be like crying. But here he is calling out to God to save his friend. And, man, it's so good. That was such a good moment. Thank you, Martin Lawrence. Like with all movies that are this way, there are parts of it that feel rushed. And these transitions that happened, they felt like duct tape just to like keep the movie together and keep rolling on to the next thing. And it was just like montage almost esque. I noticed this. It's such a little stupid thing to notice, but these aerial shots that they had in this, they drone aerial shots, they were in reverse. And I'm like, why would you? It's just like you did it because you wanted to like have the camera go in that way, and you didn't think anyone would notice. But why didn't you just get the shot going? I don't know. I was just like, that boat's going in reverse, and the waves that doesn't make sense. And I mean, that's not something that I didn't like. It was just something that I found funny. So let's sum this thing up. The film is tons of fun, and it's worth the movie theater experience, hands down. And this might be a little weird coming out of my mouth, but it honestly was missing a little bit of the Michael Bay flair, with the exception of his cameo in the film, which I dug and I appreciated. And if you didn't know, Michael Bay directed the first two films. Moving on. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith have aged like a fine wine, and their chemistry is sweet on screen, and it's so good to see them back up there doing their thing again. It's the heart that they put into this film that make it what it is. You can tell that there was a lot of love and appreciation put into this film and bringing back the guys. And it wasn't like with all of the films that we are getting that are just remakes or rehashes of the old films just because they're going to make money. This didn't feel like that. Yes, it's a cash crop. They're going to make money off this film, and it's a smart move. But they actually put a little love into it, and I appreciated that. And if you haven't seen the film, I'm sorry that I spoiled it, but also here's another spoiler. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. I'm not giving a whole lot away, but this film does set up for a fourth film if they wanted to do it. I'd be down for it if they could deliver this kind of caliber, if not better. I want better than this film because you can do better, so I'd be interested to see what they do if they decided to do a fourth film. But it's safe to say they're going to get my money if they do make it. Have you guys seen it yet? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Let me know in those comments down below. If you liked what I had to say, hit that like button and subscribe to Spillcorn for more. Also, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, the Expendable Opinion Podcast. We talk about all things geek-ish, all the things in the geek world. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Also, we deep dive into some of the things that I'll be talking about right here on Done Seen It. So you don't want to miss it. My name's Miles Rice. This is Done Seen It, and you guys have a fantastic day.